Okay, so I'm going to go over really quick kind of what's going to happen next week with respect to exam 2, and how we're going to go about kind of doing exam 2 and how we're going to submit our answers, specifically any type of drawn answers or written answers. Okay, so we go to the Canvas site for 235. I do have a module right now. I haven't finished it, but all the instructions for exam 2 are going to be in here, including this video that I'm making. And so in the instructions, it's going to kind of go over how we're going to do exam 2. So specifically exam 2, we're going to take next week. We're going to take it on Thursday, the 21st, and it's going to specifically have a time set to it, right? So the exam itself is not going to open until 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., the exam will open and there will be a time limit, right? So I'll give you guys 2 hours. It'll be open from 9 to 11. But during those 2 hours, you have to complete everything that I'm requiring, including any type of file uploads, right? So this is it's quite a bit of time specifically. It's not, the way I've designed this exam, it's not a final exam. It's not a cumulative exam. So it shouldn't take you more than an hour 15, an hour 30. But I'm giving you the extra time just to ensure that you do have enough time to upload any type of files that I'm asking for, okay? So yeah, so make sure. So what I have right now is I'm gonna have instructions in this module, and it's gonna link to a quiz, right? And so if we go to these quizzes, this quiz that it's linking to is called Practice Exam 2 Quiz, okay? And so in Practice Exam 2 Quiz, if I click on it, it's essentially trying to simulate what's going to happen during the actual exam, okay? So what's going to happen during the actual exam is that it's going to show up as a quiz in Canvas, right? It's going to be, instead of saying Practice Exam 2, it's just going to say Exam 2, okay? And then what's going to happen is you're going to click on it when it opens at 9 a.m. And in the instructions is going to be a file that contains the actual exam, okay? So now you have a couple of options here. Number one, you can click on the file and you can download it. And if you have a printer available to you, you can print it out at that point in time, right? Now, the majority of us do not have a printer available to them. So in that case, there are instructions specifically for what you're going to do if you cannot print the exam, okay? Now, notice it pops up, right? Again, this would be the real exam, but for the practice exam 2 quiz, this is what's going to pop up instead, right? So for the first 3 questions in here, I have multiple choice questions, and that's very similar to what you're going to see on the actual exam. Now, these are very, very, very simple questions. They're kind of jokes. They're just making sure that you guys can open this, that you can see the things that I'm seeing, and then you could answer the questions in Canvas, okay? So for the first part of this, we have downloaded the file for the practice exam, just like you would for the normal exam. We are then going to go ahead and start the quiz, right? So I guess I have a preview, or maybe I should do this from student. Let me actually go to student view so that this is clear. Okay, so we go to quizzes. Of course, quizzes aren't, damn it. Okay, practice quiz 2, we'll do this. So again, you download the file type, and we've downloaded that over here. So now we're ready to take the quiz, right? So in the first question, all the questions are going to show up as one thing. They're not going to be given to you one at a time. They're going to be all on the same page. The first questions, or whatever questions are given that are multiple choice, are going to show up as multiple choice, right? So note that in the actual Canvas quiz, I don't write the question again because that's just a hassle, but I will write the answers so that you guys know specifically which question this is correlating to, right? So for question number 1 in the quiz, it says, see question number 1 in practice exam or practice exam 2 quiz. So question number 1 says, what is the main element organic chemistry deals with? What is the main element organic chemistry deals with? And so here, when I go in, I'm going to answer it, oh, well, this is carbon, okay? So then we scroll down. Question number 2. See question number 2. What is question number 2? What animal does Chelsea have? Well, it says bird, lizard, cat. This is the correct answer, or dog. Okay, so we're going over here. The thing told me it was cat, so we're clicking cat. We're moving down. Question number 3. I want to know, what is the name of the following compound? So the purpose of this question is to ensure that when you guys download this file, that you are seeing what I have embedded into the file, right? So for this one, I draw the bond line structure. I want you to name it, but then I give you the name because, again, the purpose of this quiz is not to test your knowledge, but is instead to make sure that this is all going to go without any hitches, okay? So the name for this is 3R5S, 5-isopropyl 3-methyl octane. And so over here, these are also the answers here, and they're going to correlate with the answers over here in our quiz. We have, what is it, 3R? It's 3R5S. So we'll click this, and we'll move on, okay? Now, if we go back to the actual quiz, this is a terrible video. It says go to next page, right? And so next page, I specifically have some instructions for what's going to happen for the short answer, calculation, or drawing type questions, right? So page 1 was all multiple choice, and multiple choice will be normal multiple choice in the Canvas. But as we move past page 1 into page 2, or whatever page it's going to be in the actual exam, then these are going to be things that I'm wanting you to either write or draw or calculate. And I'm going to want to see those writings and those drawings and those calculations, okay? So now, if you are able to print the exam, you can print the exam and write directly on the exam. If you're not able to, then this is what you're going to do, right? So for each question, you're going to write. You're going to get a separate sheet of paper, which is what I've instructed you to do. And so for each question, you're going to write the number, right? So for page 2, we start with question number 4. We're going to write that specifically at the top. So we have our pencil. We write question number 4. And then we're going to write whatever it tells us to write, right? So this says, clearly rewrite the following in your own handwriting. The library at Oxford Academy for Young Mages was silent save for the whisper of the books in the theoretical magic section. So for your submission for this quiz, you're going to rewrite that in your own handwriting. So the library at Oxford Academy, blah, blah, blah. You'll keep doing that, okay? Now, next question, I want you to redraw the Newman projection, right? So you'll move down on the same page to number 5. You'll write clearly number 5. And you will redraw that for the submission for this quiz, right? So they have, let's see here. What is this? We have front carbon, back carbon, and then they want a methyl group up here. They want a bromine down here. They want a hydrogen. And then this is a hydrogen, right? So all I've done here for the answer for number 5 is redraw the Newman projection that is given to me in the quiz. All right, then we move on. We move on to number 6. It says redraw the following bond line structure, and it gives you the bond line structure. So we're going to go down, and for number 6, we're going to go ahead and redraw that. And then we've got this guy, and then this guy, and this guy. It's good to me. Looks good. And then for number 7, it says to redraw the following chair conformation of cyclohexane with all of the axial and equatorial hydrogens clearly drawn. So this is the only one that you may struggle with a little bit. I give you the chair conformation that I'm asking for. So you're going to draw that chair conformation. So you go down to number 7. We're going to redraw that chair. And of course, I'm going to draw a nice ugly chair for you. It's not bad. Okay, so that's the chair. Now, what I'm also asking for specifically is for you to draw in the equatorial and the axial hydrogens, right? And so this you need to go back for. If you don't remember what that even means, I would get very familiar with that very quickly. So if I have my carbon up, this is axial. We have axial. We have axial, 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 axial. And so again, all these guys are hydrogens. That's what I'm asking you to draw. And then if we go in for the equatorial, again, equatorial is not parallel to bond or bond, but it's instead parallel to these guys, right? So we draw for this guy, here's my hydrogen. For this guy, it's not this or this, but instead these guys. So we're here. For this one, it's not this or this, but instead these guys. So we're here. For this guy, it's not this or this, but instead these guys. So we're here. This guy, it's not this or this, but these guys. No, wait, it's not this or this, but these guys. So we're here. And then for this guy, it's not this or this. It's not this or this, but instead this guy. So we're here. Okay? So now that is it. Right, we have on page 2, we had questions 4, we had question 5, question 6, and question 7. When you were done, you were then going to take a picture of that, right? So make a nice pretty picture. And then that is what you're going to submit, is that photo, that file. That's what you're going to submit for question 4, right? So this is all of page 2. I also want you, before you actually take that picture, to go to the top right of the exam and sign your name. You'll do this for every page on the exam. And then take the picture and then upload it for that file, okay? So for each page in the exam, however many pages there are where I'm asking you to draw stuff or I'm asking you to write stuff, this is exactly what you're going to do. So you want to keep all of the same numbers on the same page. If you aren't printing it, you're going to take a picture of that page and you're going to upload it as whatever file type, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I don't want you guys to think that, you know, all I'm going to have you do is redraw stuff, right? This was the practice exam quiz is intentionally supposed to be, hey, here are the answers. I don't care. I just want to make sure that this works and that this is going to be acceptable, and that your file types, etc., actually work and can upload, and I can actually grade them. Okay. Okay. So, again, this is the practice exam 2 quiz. There is an actual practice exam though, and I'm going to go ahead and upload that as well, and that will give you actual questions that are relevant to the exam that you'll be taking, and that are similar to the actual questions that you'll be taking, right? So this again is just like, hey, does this work? We're trying to figure it out. The actual exam itself will be much more difficult, obviously. There'll be much more pages, much more multiple choice, and it will resemble the actual practice exam that I'll be uploading in a little bit, okay? Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. Email me if you have questions. Again, this is only going to be open from 9 to 11, so that gives you plenty of time, I hope, to answer everything and then upload all the files that I'm asking for. Okay, hopefully, if you have any questions, you can email me and let me know.